Hi everyone. So it has been almost 2 years since my last update on this channel, and I am actually about to start a round of HCG. So I wanted to give everyone kind of an update on what's going on with me, where I've been, etc., etc. The last video I did was talking about the very exciting news that I found out that I was pregnant with my second child. So, of course, took a break from HCG, and life got really interesting from there. So, first things first, I did have that beautiful baby girl, and she was amazing and perfect. And what was so great is between my first pregnancy and the second one, thanks to HCG, I had lost 60 pounds. And the difference in being pregnant at 200 pounds and being pregnant at, 160 pounds or 150 pounds, is just amazing. I had a ton of hip pain and different things with my first pregnancy from just being, overweight and pregnant. I actually was on bed rest for the last 2 months of my pregnancy, or modified bed rest due to pain. And I had none of that with my second pregnancy. So that was amazing. My blood sugar levels were great. I felt really good. I actually looked different. I had almost hypermesis with my first pregnancy. So even though I was very overweight, I only gained about 20 pounds with that pregnancy because I was so sick all the time. So with my second pregnancy, I did not have that issue. I did gain more weight than with my first, but I still came out, below where I had started, and I felt a lot better the whole time. And even with gaining that additional weight, just in looking at pictures, maybe from my baby shower with my first pregnancy and my baby shower with my second one, or, me at 6 months pregnant and 6 months pregnant, I just looked completely different. How I carried the weight, where the weight was distributed, just overall was completely different. And I really, really thank HCG for that. So that made me really happy. I had my little baby girl and brought her home, and I was nursing her. So, of course, I'm not going to do HCG then. And about 3 months after she was born, I became very, very ill. I was having heart palpitations, and a very accelerated heart rate, night sweats really bad, a whole host of issues, a lot of issues. And I, through some testing and lots of blood work, found out that I actually have an autoimmune disease known as Graves' disease. And Graves' disease affects your thyroid. And my thyroid was extremely overactive. It actually, what they're thinking is that the pregnancy, especially my girls are 20 months apart, so that was a lot on my body in that short period of time, but the pregnancy really kicked that autoimmune disease into overdrive and caused it to really start attacking my thyroid. And my thyroid was 6 times more active than it should be. So my numbers of where your normal level should be for your thyroid was 6 times above that. And because of that, I was very, very ill. And it was a really difficult time. And, long story short, I went through all of the channels, worked through medication, which had its own issues that I had. At the time I'm caring for, a little baby and a 2-year-old. And so that was very difficult to deal with. And then ultimately it came down to where I did have to have surgery, and I had a total thyroidectomy. I had my thyroid removed, which is what this lovely scar here is from. This was actually done 6 months ago. I had a total thyroidectomy and the thyroid removed because no other treatment was working. And I'm healing from that. Any major surgery has its own host of complications. I continued to nurse throughout this whole ordeal. I was very, very happy. My daughter just turned 13 months, and in preparation for this next HCG round, we just finished up nursing. So I was really excited that even though I had some really significant medical issues and I had to make some really tough choices to continue breastfeeding her, I was able to do that. And so that made me really happy. Yay. And hopefully, with time, this will fade and heal. And, it'll just be, something that happened in my life and I moved on from it. Right now, my current state of health, I am on Synthroid to replace the thyroid hormone that I do not have every day. I'm also on a high amount of calcium supplements because during the surgery, my parathyroid glands, which are right near your thyroid, were damaged. And so my body is not producing calcium properly. I'm 6 months out. I'm still below normal on the calcium scale, which makes HCG a little bit different from me. And the way that I'm doing HCG this round will be a little different for me because I do have to be very careful about my calcium, making sure that I am not only taking my supplements, but also through my diet, getting as much calcium in as I can, which, with no dairy, can be difficult. The crux of the matter is I actually don't eat a lot of dairy as it is. I don't drink milk. I don't usually eat yogurt. Really, the only way that I get dairy in my diet is through cheese, and I don't have a ton of cheese. So the places where I find my calcium are in things like spinach and collard greens and, broccoli, or there's different sesame seeds have a lot of calcium in them. Different things like that. So I am definitely going to have to structure the HCG foods that I eat to ensure that I'm getting the max amount of calcium in my diet per day. And then if I notice that I'm having calcium depletion symptoms, I may have to add a little dairy into my diet, even if it means I'm losing less weight per day than I could be on the HCG, because obviously hypocalcemia is not something that you want to play with. A lot of people hear low calcium and they think, oh, brittle bones or whatever, and that's great. If you have just a slight amount of calcium over a long period of time, it can definitely affect your bones. If you have an acute, drop in calcium like I'm dealing with now, it actually has a much larger effect on your body. It can cause large-scale muscle cramps, numbness, even up to, the muscles in your throat can cramp up and close. So it can be very dangerous. And with that in mind, I work very aggressively with my endocrinologist to make sure that I am taking the proper supplements and steps to protect my calcium. And I'll continue to do that moving forward with the diet. So that's that. Not having a thyroid can definitely cause you to gain weight as you're trying to get your levels separated out and trying to figure out, what doses of Synthroid are best for you. I ended my last round of HCG before I found out I was pregnant at 155 pounds. I gained, I believe it was 40 pounds, right about, it may have been a little bit more, during my pregnancy. I gave birth to a 6-pound, 2-ounce baby. I make little bitty babies. My first was 5.5. And in the year since I had her, I actually got back down all on my own to 160. So I was really close to my ending HCG number, and I was really, really happy about that. Since I have had the thyroid removed, I've been fluctuating my weight. Currently, I'm at 165. I would love to be lower, but, on average, a person gains about 30 pounds the year after they've had their thyroid removed. So I'm super excited that I've only gained 5 to 10 pounds, and I'm keeping it, under control. I'm hoping that the HCG will push me further towards my ultimate goal. I would love to break 140. I'm 5'1", so if you look at a chart, I should be somewhere between, I think it's 104 pounds and 120 pounds, somewhere in there. I know for myself, I've always been really happy and really comfortable at like 135, 140, somewhere in there. Who knows, maybe I'll get there and want to go less, but that's where I've been happy. So that's my goal, is to get back there. Hopefully, with this round, I can do it. If not, we'll go from there. But I just, wanted to let you guys know like where I've been and what I'm doing. I actually planned on doing a round a lot sooner, but life takes over and things get crazy and you adjust and you move forward. So my ultimate goal right now, I would love to do a long 6-week round. I have all of the supplies for a long 6-week round. It's really just going to depend on what my calcium levels are looking like and how my body's responding to the treatment. I'm going to do 3 weeks. In every 2 weeks, actually, I have blood work scheduled so that I can check and kind of see where my hormone level is going, where my calcium's going, to make sure that everything's safe. And if everything's going well, then I'm going to keep going. And if everything's kind of on the edge, then I'll probably do a short round, take a little break, bump that calcium back up again, and then go again for another round. So that's my plan. This is my journey. I'm trying to think if there's nothing really else to say. There's been a lot going on. So I'm super, super busy and home with 2 very, very active kids. So this will be definitely different than the rounds that I've done in the past. We'll see how that goes. I'll do an update video probably at the end of the 1st or 2nd week with, starting measurements to current measurements and yada, yada, yada. So I'll do all that. I always like to kind of break that out to where the pictures are kind of on their own. So for those that want to hear the story, you can hear the story. And for those that really just kind of want to see the pictures and get some inspiration, I can do that. Check back to my old videos. Like my after round 3, I did kind of all the pictures together. And I actually looked over that just recently. I hadn't looked at it in a while, and I was like blown away. Like, oh wow, I don't even remember that transformation. So it makes you really excited and really ready to go. Today is loading day 1 for me. I did do 1 week of low carb prior to this, and then today I've been trying to load as much high fat as I can. There's definitely some carbs that are in there. I wasn't going to be too crazy on myself about the carbs, but I'm keeping pretty much all the sugars out because I have a full-blown sugar addiction. So keeping all the sugars out, but I'm loading mostly high fat to see if that will help me with cravings and whatnot throughout the week. And this round, my HCG is actually mixed with B12, so I'm excited to see how that is. The other rounds I got a B12 shot once a week, and for like 2 days afterwards, I felt amazing. Like everything felt great, and then it kind of petered out. So I'm excited to see what that's like to have it all day long. So there you go. Normally I stop and I edit these and I make them shorter and, get them all pretty for you, and I will do that moving forward. But this one was just like here's my life. So you have to deal with my rambles. Sorry. If you have questions, send them to me. I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I have actually helped a couple of my friends through this HCG journey locally. They've had great success, and so I'm happy to help if I can. All right. Thanks. Bye.